where we're doing live on Twitch. So it's going to sound weird for those who are only listening to it in audio.
But there is a video version now.
There is a video version now. It'll be on Twitch and it'll be on YouTube.
It will be, eventually, in the future.
One day. So this is kind of how we're going to be doing it going forward. So we hope you like the new format. For those who want to have more video and stuff going forward, that's the plan.
What would you call this? A reboot? A sequel to a previous Sythaholics? What would you call it?
This is
a soft reboot?
Soft reboot? Sort of. I mean, like, we're not doing Star Trek exclusively anymore. We're going to be doing what we kind of want to talk about, more freeform. Today we're talking about Loki.
Yes.
We'll also be talking about fan favorites like Dune, because we've already talked about the old Dune one day. We'll be talking about the new one whenever that decides to come out.
3 years from now.
I'll probably try to get with Stuart and other people to do Star Trek recaps when Star Trek is out.
Yeah.
But also about video games.
Yeah, we can do that.
We're playing a lot of Diablo.
A lot of different things.
And Satisfactory.
Things that we find interesting that we'd like to, just explain a little bit about.
Yeah, and it won't be bound specifically by Star Trek anymore. I still want to talk about it, but I just can't do
the level that you were doing.
An hour and a half per episode for every single episode of how grueling Picard and Discovery have been. So
it has fallen from greatness.
Yeah, unfortunately. So here's a new format. We hope you like it. It'll probably change because we had to do this real quick.
It will change.
We are on a little bit of a time crunch this afternoon.
Yes.
So that's also going to be, making this a little bit shorter. And our format will change. We'll evolve. We'll have to get better at this because this is our first time doing.
We're going to end up in a 55-story mega skyscraper, full production staff, 500 people employed.
I hope so.
Something like that.
One day.
That's the goal. A couple weeks.
Maybe
we'll get there in a couple weeks.
Maybe episode 600, that'll be...
Episode 600 will be in the skyscraper.
Yeah, we're at 301 today.
Okay, so we got 300 episodes till we need a skyscraper. We should make that a goal.
Yeah, skyscraper.
Skyscraper goal, 300 more episodes.
All right, so we'll be knocking down the one tower in Buffalo and building
Yes, the one tower, we will knock it down, and then we will rebuild it and name it Synthaholics.
Synthaholics Tower, yeah.
Synthaholics Tower.
Why not, right?
Exactly.
One day we'll have that kind of capital.
Something like that.
Who are we kidding?
We're not kidding anybody. This is real. This is going to happen.
This is real life. And real life in our dreams, probably.
I'm not dreaming.
All right. Hooked on a feeling. Wait, not to be more Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, I mean, that is Marvel, which can lead into Loki.
Loki, yeah.
I'd like to start off with the premise of what Loki is, just so we can refresh our brain here. I pulled this from the direct website.
Oh, and BT Dubs, this will be completely spoilerific.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing's, yeah. If you haven't watched Loki, don't listen, anymore.
If you haven't listened to Sythaholics, just before, we're just, all about the spoilers. If you clicked on it, you're wanting to know about what we're talking about.
I'll in great detail.
Yeah. I mean,
we're not skipping anything. We're going to go over everything. We're going to spoil the entire series. So, technically, if you haven't watched it and people are making fun of you for not watching it, you could watch this, and then you'll just know everything without even having to watch Loki. Potentially.
You know the big parts.
Yeah, the big parts. Well, so the synopsis is, after stealing the Tesseract during the events of Avengers Endgame, an alternate version of Loki is brought into a mysterious Time Variant Authority, TVA, also known as, a bureaucratic organization that exists outside of time and space and monitors the timeline. They give Loki a choice: face being erased from existence due to being a time variant, or help fix the timeline and stop a greater threat. So, with that, Dave, what do you give Loki out of 10 right off the bat? What do you give it?
I give it a solid 8.
An 8?
Yeah. It wasn't perfect,
okay,
but it was really good. And I think it was by far the best of the 3 shows that have come out from Marvel and Disney+. I would give WandaVision a solid 2, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier a solid 3.
So we're improving.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely... Oh, we had a pretty good, it went low, then it definitely went up a bit. I would give it an 8. What about you?
I would also give it an 8. Potentially a 9. I would I would, you know what? I would raise it up to a 9 if there weren't 2 filler episodes.
Yeah, there were 2 filler episodes. That's what's stuck me. I mean, it's really good, but there's literally just like 2 filler episodes.
This really could just have been a movie. Well, maybe not quite a movie, but if you got rid of the 2 filler episodes, that would leave us with 4 episodes at 40 minutes apiece. So
it would be like a Lord of the Rings movie.
Extended Marvel
you can
movie.
easily trim fat and make this a 3-hour Lord of the Rings type film. I mean, there's good stuff in it for sure.
There's a lot of Infinity Stones.
Just in a drawer somewhere. Yeah,
they get them all the time.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's alternate ones come through. Apparently, Loki brings a lot to the TVA because there's been a lot of Lokis go through the TVA. We got President Loki, Alligator Loki. He's probably got 16 Infinity Stones stuck all over his back.
Old Loki. Who ends up being really the only important Loki of the entire series.
Yeah, and we've got Young King Loki. We've got just a bunch of other, like, just hoodlum.
Do you remember Lokis? Why he was Young King Loki?
I don't remember.
Because he killed Thor.
Oh, yeah, he killed Thor. Like, they're like little kids, and he just shoved Thor's hammer down his throat or something.
Something like that. Well, so, with that being said, I do have one question. So, the whole thing comes to the end of Kang the Conqueror, which was rumored that he was going to be the next big MCU villain.
Which was great. That's why it's like not a 7 with the 2 filler episodes. They did deliver on the big bad, because everyone was thinking Mephisto was going to be the big bad and show up at the end of WandaVision. Nothing happened there. Nothing super big happened at the end of, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, other than we've got,
big. Well, now we're approaching
the Dark Avengers.
We got the knockoff Avengers. Loki is more of, he's kind of like transcended just being like a dude like Falcon who just happened to have like a wing glider as his backpack. He has like powers. He's like technically a god. So he can have a more interesting story.
Way more interesting, absolutely.
So my biggest problem I had with it was there's the TBA. Or is it the TVA?
TVA.
The TVA.
Time Variance Authority.
Yeah, so now Kang the Conqueror controls the TVA.
He made robot Time Lord puppet masters that the TVA go talk to. And I think they spoke with his voice, too.
Yes, so he makes this to prevent trillions from dying from starting a multiverse war. Because
other versions of himself are more of an asshole than he is.
Yes, that's what he says.
And so he's like, well, I'm the best of the worst options.
Sure. So basically, without him, though, just trillions also die because they don't get to exist. That was my problem with it. Both of them are bad. There's either a big war.
They exist as long as they don't get eaten by the fog monster.
Okay, the fog monster is true. Now,
Owen Wilson lived. He had a nice pizza cart.
Owen Wilson was Owen Wilson. So if you're looking for a good movie that Owen Wilson acts like Owen Wilson, this is it.
Does Owen Wilson ever not act like Owen Wilson?
He doesn't act. I was hoping they were going to throw in a wow.
I know
but
he said but he said like he said it like wow.
Yeah, a little bit.
He got close like
Marvel cut him
once.
Cut him off.
They had to fix it in post.
Now, I will say the chemistry between Loki and Owen Wilson was
almost
phenomenal.
as good as it was with Sylvie. They almost kissed, just like Sylvie and Owen kissed.
You liked their chemistry?
Sylvie and Loki?
Yeah.
It was fine until Kang turned them against each other in the last episode.
I thought it was a little weird because they kind of have a thing for each other. And the same thing.
I mean, if you go to the alternate universe, you're gonna screw yourself, right? We've had this conversation, with the Star Trek Mirror Universe, because Nana Visitor, Mary Jakira, her dark variant, basically, in the Mirror Universe, really wanted to screw herself, her good self.
It was her goal.
It was, number one priority, basically, behind taking over the universe.
Well, the one scene that came to my mind right now with their chemistry was when, I don't know, I think it's episode 4, when they sit down and eat lunch together.
Yeah, that's the filler episode, where it's just a lot of just them talking, getting to know each other, which creates an alternate crazy variant time stream. Because basically, Sylvie, which is Lady Loki, she hides in apocalypses because nothing you do before a major apocalypse can disrupt the time flow, so the TVA won't come after you. So them almost doing each other is so powerful it'll even spike before an apocalypse. Like, they were seconds away from an apocalypse, and there was a major spike.
That is true. Now, that is one of my favorite scenes. I have another one. When they are on the train, which is also a filler episode.
It's the same episode.
Oh, it's the same episode?
Yeah.
Okay, same episode. When they're on the train and Loki is singing.
Yeah, that was kind of strange.
That's another good part. It's out of nowhere. I don't know why. I like that part. I watched it twice, and then I watched it on YouTube. That was another part I liked.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I was hoping they were going to bring into the end. The end is really when you figure out what's going on, because...
The end is entirely exposition. Like, the end is just Kang.
Talking.
It's just Kang telling everyone what's going on with a little bit of Sylvie and Loki fighting because he's pitting them against each other. He basically wants to die. He's like asking them to kill him.
Now, why? I still don't know. Why did he want to die?
I mean, I believed him when he said he was old and tired.
Yeah,
which is fine.
He said he was just going to come back.
Yeah, it's inevitable because that's his path. His path is to get there one way or the other. So there'll be a multiversal war. People will die, and then one of him will come back and he'll rule. Might be a worse version of him. Might be a better version of him.
This is true.
Maybe.
This is true. Now, at the end, when he does die, all the versions of the timeline start breaking off. You can see it in the background, right?
Yeah.
Now, what I think they should have done, since we know there's going to be a Doctor Strange movie, and it's called, like, The Madness of the Multiverse, they should have had Doctor Strange come in and just say something, be like, I got this.
Just Doctor Strange come and fix everything.
Well, no, not fix everything, just show, like, hey, we're heading into this new phase 4 because, the Thanos thing is done now, so now they need to start developing this next era of Marvel. Now, when I say that, when I thought Endgame was done, I was like, I'm done with Marvel. But the problem with Marvel is, I keep saying that, I want to be done with it, but they just keep making good things. So I always want to keep watching them. I want to move on and, like, move to DC, even though DC's a lost hope. I have hope in DC. But Marvel just keeps pumping out good show, good movie, over and over again. I haven't seen Black Widow yet, so I don't know how that went. They just keep making good things. I want to be out, but Marvel has me, and I can't leave now.
Can't leave now. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I do feel like Endgame, I mean, I covered this in our Endgame episode a year and a half, 2 years ago, whenever it was. It was good, but it was just, like, disappointing at the same time. Like, it wasn't as good as the previous movie, Infinity War. Infinity War was fantastic, and then I feel like the time travel was so messy, it just kind of ruined the film for me, because it was, like, really messy time travel. And if you want to see good time travel, you gotta watch Dark. It's in German or really bad English voiceover.
That's on Netflix, right?
That's on Netflix. But it is the best time travel show I have ever seen. It all makes sense. It all ties together. It is well done time travel.
Well, that's something. Is it in English?
You can listen to it in English, but like it's like people talking. It's really hard to. I basically just listened to it. I looked over occasionally so I could learn what people's voices were to the faces, so I could just listen and like not look at the awful lip syncing, because you just can't lip sync German to English as well.
Now going back to Loki here, through the whole thing, Loki is the god of mischief, so he's always supposed to be lying and stuff. Was there any point during this series where it's like you're starting to think like, you know what, he's not lying here? Or you know what, I feel bad for him here, or anything, or were you like, because to me, he's starting to seem like he's kind of like, I don't want to say a hero, but he's like starting to be like something where it's like, I kind of trust him here.
Maybe he's not a hero, but maybe he's an anti-Loki.
An anti-Loki? Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
anti-Loki? I mean...
Season 2?
Maybe. I mean, but I'm really hoping Season 2 will be about Loki Gator.
Loki Gator. All episodes just about Loki Gator.
I mean, he does eat President Loki's hand.
I would love to see that multiverse where everything's just alligators.
Just like peek into it for a few minutes.
Everything's just an alligator.
Captain Marvel alligator.
And for some reason, this alligator created a Nexus event, and the timekeepers had to come and like take this alligator away.
I just want to see the moment where the alligator Loki is told he's adopted.
Loki's adopted.
You're adopted? What? I just see, like, what is an alligator shock reaction?
Which is also a filler filler episode is this one that we're talking about when they show Loki Gator, or the most of it, because that's where they got a lot of the promotion for it is where Loki's wearing like that cool like beat up suit.
Yeah.
I saw that, and that really has nothing to do with anything. That's kind of just Loki looks cool, so let's put this all over the promotion and marketing. Because I saw that costume over and over again when he has like this gang of people that are all Lokis.
Oh yeah, the President Loki.
Yeah, the President Loki. He looks cool, but really does nothing.
Yeah, he does. He does that. I was really hoping there'd be more.
I was hoping he would do something cool.
He just
they put him in the trailer, but he does nothing. He's in the show for about 5 minutes.
If that.
If that. That is true. So, really, what it comes down to is that we need more alligator Loki, and we need more like mafia Loki, which I don't think we're going to get either one of those now.
Probably not. Because I mean, as soon as Loki gets shot out of the end of time, Sylvie opens the pad, knocks him through, and he is back in the TVA, but she's killed Kang. So the TVA doesn't have the 3 reptile lords carved in stone anymore. The Timekeepers. It's now just like an OG King the Conqueror with like the big medallion thing around his neck, like in the comics. He looks like the comic version.
Now, I don't know much about the Timekeepers and their comic book history, but are they a real thing? Because another spoiler is that they aren't real.
Yeah, I think they're also, depending on the comic, I believe they are also robots or mannequins or something else. There's like an old guy at the end of time who like.
They're also very hard to understand.
Yeah, they're kind of.
I did not understand it.
Sort of like they had a bunch of marbles in their mouth.
A bunch of marbles. A bunch of Lokis, because they're all just going
chewing on Lokis.
Chewing on Lokis.
Can't stop, won't stop.
What'd you think of the fight scenes?
I mean, they were pretty good. I mean,
nothing.
They weren't like over the top, but they weren't like bad by any stretch of the imagination.
Sure.
They were adequate. I mean, it was a little bit annoying in the last episode where like, okay, we gotta throw a little bit of Loki fighting Sylvie just to like
spicing it up,
just to have it not be a monologue.
Sure.
And that felt a little bit weird, but I guess I get why it's there.
You get why it's there. They need to create a little bit more chemistry, a little bit more character development.
Yeah, they just needed some fighting to make it not like an hour-long monologue.
Something. Well, I mean,
to make it not Castaway.
To make it not Castaway.
Yeah.
So, hopes for Season 2. Kang the Conqueror is obviously going to be the main villain, but I would imagine by the time Season 2 comes out, which is probably going to be 2 years maybe, we're already going to get some Marvel movies that are coming out. Is Kang the Conqueror the new Thanos? Is he going to be in everything?
Absolutely.
So he's the guy?
He's what they're building up to. Like, he's supposed to be an Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes.
He probably be in Season 2. So, I mean, Season 2's still got to be before the end of the thing. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll just see, like, how bad Kang is. But, I mean, what? I just don't know what's going to happen. Like, is Sylvie still at the end of time? Is Sylvie dead because she unleashed Kang? It feels like the Emperor Palpatine thing. It's just like, oh, kill me,
really
and then we'll, like, or you can take over for me. I'm like, but isn't it the same thing? Like, how is taking over for him different?
Well, now you're going to start creating paradoxes in your head. It's not going to make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's kind of like the same thing. Like, kill me or take my place. And I'm like, what's the difference? Like, what really changes?
I don't even know what his powers are. It just seemed like he knew everything. He knew what's going to happen.
He knew everything to a point, and then
he just like had no superpower anymore.
Yeah, and then just power anymore. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like he's a regular guy. I mean, he's a variant of Kang, so. And he's from the year 3021 or something like that. So, I mean, mostly his power...
He's from 2077? Is he from 2077?
3077.
3077.
Cyberpunk 3077.
Cyberpunk 3077.
Maybe it'll be fixed by then.
Maybe. Or maybe Loki will take over.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
It's definitely a possibility. So, now, with this Loki that's in this series, he comes directly from Endgame when he steals the Tesseract. Now... this Loki is a different version of the Loki that Thanos kills. Kills, quote unquote. Now, is that erased? Or is that still inevitable going to happen to that Loki, or are we dealing with a different Loki now? How many Tom Hiddleston Lokis are there? A billion?
Probably.
And we know the story of 2.
It's 2, yes. Loki Gator. I don't know the story of Loki Gator.
I don't know the lore behind the Loki Gator. Or the Old Man Loki, which we should.
No, Old Man Loki is what happened to in-game Loki, because he said he just projected himself. He just pretended to be garbage while he projected a version of himself Thanos killed. So I don't think our Loki ever died. And I never, even before the Loki show came out, I never believed Loki died in Endgame.
Sure.
Because Loki has died like 16 times in the MCU before this point.
Yeah.
And he has never, ever stayed dead. He's always faked his death. And I'm like, he always fakes his death. I wasn't sad when Loki died. I figured he faked his death. No. And, like, they wrote him an out in this, where he just was pretending to be trash and just drift around. Which is fine. And if that Loki just drifts around, that is that. But now we've got this alternate version of the same Loki from earlier in the timeline, who can now be our main Loki and still show up and maybe be an anti-hero instead of a villain.
Can we just have 2 Lokis in one movie? The same Loki? Tom Hiddleston playing 2 characters, 2 Lokis? Is that going to happen?
Probably not. Maybe. I mean, like, it depends on how far they go with the multiverse stuff.
They're going to go pretty far.
I mean, it's really interesting. And basically this show is just getting you used to seeing different Lokis. I mean, time travel too. The time travel was done better in this than it was in Endgame.
Well, sure, but this is what we're breaking into now. Is I think going forward, a lot of these movies and TV shows that are going to come out are all going to be time travel based. Ant-Man, Wasp do that quantum realm stuff, which deals with time. Doctor Strange deals with time. They're all going to start dealing with time now.
I want to know how Doctor Strange is going to deal with time. Agamotto was destroyed.
Well, he's the Sorcerer Supreme.
He's going to invent his own time travel spell.
I think he should. That would be great. He's pretty powerful.
Although he is kind of an idiot.
You think he's an idiot?
Yes, he said there's only one way they could beat Thanos, when Captain Marvel could have beaten Thanos by herself every single time. Like, the movie went out of its way to make Captain Marvel not available for them to kill.
Well, I think they also did that with Fat Thor, too. Because Fat Thor was getting kind of powerful at the end of Thor, what was it, Ragnarok? Yeah. He was getting kind of powerful there, too. So I feel like they kind of nerfed him a little bit as well.
But, like, they didn't even nerf her. They just kept her away.
Well, they had
there's only one. I looked at all these millions of things. So basically, Captain Marvel is just too busy and too much of a priss to actually
saving hurricanes on different planets.
Yeah, just doing whatever to save this. Is that why it's the only one that only he can snap it? I mean, like, I don't know, anyone. Can't you just make a snapping robot do it?
I guess you could.
With your intention,
a snapping robot.
Captain Marvel. I don't know.
Robot snapping.
Captain Marvel could have snapped it without dying. Hulk snapped it without dying. Then Captain Marvel definitely could have.
Yeah, but they didn't get anything done with those snaps.
Oh wow.
Oh well.
Oh wow. I don't know. Like I'm just like they just scaled back all the Avengers' power in Endgame, which was really annoying because Captain America went toe to toe with Thanos when he had 3 Infinity Stones, and like kind of stood his own. Captain America, which isn't like a top-tier powerful hero. And then you've got Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man fighting him with 0 Infinity Stones.
It was just him.
He had 0 Infinity Stones.
He had a big blade.
All of their butts.
Yeah, I don't know. It's for the finale. You're listening to the music. You got the orchestra playing. You got all the characters showing up. This is the end of what 10 years was. We entered the next phase, which is now we're stuck with.
I guess you can't apply logic to it.
We're stuck with Loki.
I'm fine with Loki.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with Loki. So how Loki gets into the TVA is he gets the Tesseract from Stark Tower, and he goes to the middle of nowhere in a desert, and then they show up, and they pretty much bring him there, and he is a prisoner for probably about 3 episodes until he breaks free. And then he kind of does his own thing. He makes friends with Mobius, which is Owen Wilson's character.
Mobius, yeah.
And hopefully those 2 will be in season 2 because I really like those
Mobius
2
was
together.
great. Mobius was really good.
Lady Loki will be in there. But, yeah. that's pretty much Loki.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I enjoyed it. By far the most relevant of the three shows. The other two shows just feel like they could explain them away in one line because nothing
happens.
Super
really.
substantial happens in any of
They're
them.
also not. Well, I was pulled
and you can just assume things happen.
Yeah, I was pulled into WandaVision until you knew what was going on. Because I wanted to know what was going on, which is why this show kept my attention for so long, because I never knew what was going to happen. I could make guesses, but for WandaVision, once they just spoil the beans.
Although Other Witches was pretty cool, like they went the Salem witch trials in WandaVision. That was kind of neat.
Yeah, but I was kind of meant.
Did you call Agatha? I didn't know who Agatha was.
No, I didn't call Agatha. But once it was oh, it's going to be a witch versus a witch at the end. With Loki, I don't know. I still don't know what's going to happen. There's a million different Lokis. There's Kane who controls time. Then there's Loki who the heck knows what he's going to do. He's going to break free of anything that you put him in.
Who the heck knows?
I sure don't. Kevin Feige knows.
Maybe he doesn't.
We should try to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, Kevin Feige, you want to come on a Sythaholics podcast?
If you're listening, Kevin Feige. I know you're a busy guy, but this is the one that you need to be on.
He just listens to all the podcasts that even have a Marvel name in them.
He's a big fan of Marvel. He's a big fan of Marvel.
Yeah, maybe.
Just a little bit. So that's Loki. The quick and dirty.
Quick and dirty. Definitely recommend it. Very good if you haven't seen it. Other two shows, I mean, if you're bored, definitely check them out. They're not bad by any stretch of the imagination.
They just don't compare to Loki.
They just weren't great. And Loki was definitely in that realm of pretty great show.
Yes, pretty great show. One of the better ones I've seen this year. I can't think of anything I've seen that's better in terms of TV series this year.
Although Wheel of Time comes out in November. I cannot wait for me. Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time. We'll have to do a podcast on that when it comes out.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, we hope you like the new format.
New format, getting things figured out. We just wanted to get something out so people could listen to it, hopefully enjoy it, and I'm sure there will be a massive improvement in the next 2 to 3. There'll just be massive improvements for the next 2 to 3 podcasts. There'll be a big one next time. There'll be a big one after that, and then hopefully we'll have something configured logistically so it's perfect.
Yeah, we haphazardly threw this together. It's how are we going to do this? I don't know. We might try a couple different methods and see which one works best.
We'll try to figure it out. I mean, our first was, just streaming it on Twitch. That was not something we really were thinking on doing, but, we kind of headed towards that way, and we'll put it in every other place that it has been. Even though I know I've really never been on the podcast.
You were on our Final Fantasy VII podcast.
Yes, but I have an idea of where this stuff went. And I'm not brand new to hearing about this podcast.
Yeah.
So we'll get things figured out, make it cool, make it awesome, grow. So we can get that skyscraper.
I mean, that's end goals, guys. End goals. Skyscraper.
That's the end game.
End game. That's our end game.
If we get anywhere,
I'm gonna have an orchestra play.
If we get anywhere, you know what? If we get anywhere to the point where there's people listening, there's people watching. I think once we think we reach that peak, we got to cosplay as some character. We're gonna hire an orchestra, and they're just gonna play in the background the entire time while we talk about it.
Might as well, right? Yeah.
I'm serious.
We'll do Death Note.
Yeah, we'll do what?
I'll dress up as Ryu.
We'll dress as something that has nothing to do with what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, just. I don't know. Whatever.
You can do it for Halloween.
Maybe. Who knows? All right. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed. Please follow, subscribe.
Yeah, follow the Twitch.
Comment. Chat.
Facebook.
Twitter. Share. Twitter. Post it.
Post-it notes.
Put it on Snapchat. TikTok's big nowadays. Let's get a TikTok going.
Yeah, people just snap out little things from the video and put it on TikTok.
Everything that's out there.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Live long and prosper, one and all.